Right. Good evening and welcome, everybody. We are in the grand final for the all-random, all-bot, Crystal Scar, Dominion, ESL, Random Weird Cup. And the two teams that find themselves in the grand final are Double Trouble, 2XTR, who I believe are Belgium. I'm going to double-check that in a second. And PWDT from Poland. So PWDT, I'm not certain on what the name stands for, but I've been calling them the Polish Wet Dream Team. I think it's a pretty cool nickname, don't you? This is the grand final. This is a winner takes all. Whoever wins this will be crowned champion and earn bragging rights that they are the best all-random, all-bottom Dominion players in Europe. So congratulations to the winner in advance. Having a look at the champions, we have Derher on Scion and Herder on Skarner. I have to give the emphasis because it's really cool nicknames. Nuck Choris playing Dr. Mundo. Huey Freeman 1 on Annie. And Humanize on Vladimir. And I think that is a fantastically strong team for a game mode like this. On the other side, we have Bravo playing Victor. Wanku on Caitlyn. Dewak on Cogmore. Jark on Wukong. And Marchlock on Warwick. This is going to be very, very interesting because we've got a huge amount of AoE type of abilities on behalf of the Polish team of PDWT. And I'll explain why just as soon as the loading screen pops up. Caitlyn's traps are very powerful in this game mode. It's a great anti-initiator. And of course, it's a great initiation ability. If somebody accidentally steps onto a trap, you can just jump onto them and completely blow them up. Combine the traps with the AoE stun from Victor, the AoE slow from Cogmore, and then, of course, the Cyclone ultimate from Wukong, which knocks everybody up in the air. You pretty much get a guaranteed stun if they place their ultimate and that gravity field from Victor correctly. Looking at the opposition, however, you now have a direct on-hit stun from Scion, combined with a stun from Annie, combined with a suppression from Skarner. You can pretty much guarantee somebody will die. The sustain from Dr. Mundo and the sustain from Vladimir are going to make it very difficult to push them out of lane, and especially when it comes to defending those points, defending those towers. They're going to be able to be at full health pretty much indefinitely. They don't need mana. They don't use mana. So that's going to be very, very frustrating for PDWT. Combine that with the fact that Skarner and Mundo are auto-attackers, and Scion's ultimate gives the entire team lifesteal. It increases their attack speed or gives attack speed, lifesteal to all of the champions. That makes it very, very difficult. I'm having a quick look on IRC. Perky and Talk. What's up, guys? Oh, SS Koenig as well. You guys are legendary. I've got a few guys joining IRC. For anybody else that does join IRC in the next sort of 5 or 10 minutes, I will be giving you guys a shout out personally and individually. Perky, Talk, and SS Koenig, or Koenig sech, SS Koenig. You, sir, are a legend. It's just a couple of guys that I used to know from my previous job, and have to give some awesome shout outs. So, game is almost loaded. And once it is in, we're going to have to see how this goes. Both teams have got great poke. Both teams have got great damage. And I think one thing that is really advantageous for PDWT is the fact that Caitlyn can just use that range to her advantage. Her Q spell, it is normally called the Piltover Peacemaker. I have renamed it to the Piltover Pacemaker. So it is a pacemaker. It is her... because she's old age and she needs it for her heart. I actually completely forgot to point out skins. Frostfire Annie is quite possibly one of the coolest skins in the game. And as the only player in the game that has a skin, it means Double Trouble is going to be winning. That is the way that this works. So we'll have to see how this goes. For anybody out there in IRC land that isn't certain, you are watching a... let's just quickly close chat. You are watching a League of Legends game. This is a slightly random game mode where instead of teams fighting to control all 5 points, We have an all random, so both teams have not had the choice of the the choice of champions that they pick. And the goal is to capture these points. This is known as the quarry, and this one is known as the boneyard. And the first team to reduce the enemy team score to 0 is the winner. At 1 minute 30, the stairwell to hell will be completed, and the game will commence. League of Legends is very similar to Dota or HON. This game mode and this competition should not be used as the basis, because it's completely strange. Having a look at when the teams are going to capture, they'll probably capture the points at around about the exact same time. Boneyard going down, and about a second later, the quarry being captured. So let's have a look-see. Having a look at the items we've got. Once again, some aggressive builds, some aggressive items across the teams, except for the gold per 5 on Dr. Mundo. It's the only one that sort of doesn't break the mold. And as mentioned already, the poke is coming out. Vladimir is going to be able to just move up, use that transfusion. Once he hits level 9, it'll be at max skill points, and it'll be down to about a 4 or a 5 second cooldown. And that's continually going to keep him sustained. The shield and the stun from Sion, they're committing to this fight, and I think it's too early. They don't have the levels. Sion's being forced to run away. Mundo doesn't have his ultimate to get his heal up, and summon a heal from the enemy team manages to keep Wukong alive for a few seconds lower before Skarner finally picks up the kill. Kog'Maw manages to pick up Sion once he re-engages the fight, and that's a dead Vladimir as well. And he's going to be chased down. They're just going to tank this turret. Maybe not for the full duration, but Kog'Maw manages to pick up a kill there. Let's quickly switch over to the total kill scores. Kog'Maw picking up 2, 1 for Kate, 1 for Victor, and 1 for Warwick. And that's a very early capture. I think that it was a little bit over-aggressive, a little bit too brave on behalf of two Double Trouble. But once they start getting some levels and once they start getting some ultimates here, then things are going to change. So that's a dead Victor. They're going to be able to shut down this Warwick as well. The Cleaver maybe enough to put the slow, just not enough. And with the Hunter's Call from Warwick, he gets the movement speed buff and the vision on the enemy, so he's just going to be able to move away. Caitlyn uses her 90 caliber net. She moves backwards, lands on the health relic, and picks up the hit points. Vladimir moves to try and capture Ace in the hole, but uses his Sanguine Pool to go underneath it, and the focus from the enemy team, the Polish team, just completely shut down this Double Trouble side from Belgium. That's another kill going down. Kog'Maw's at 406, and he's going to be able to just pick up huge numbers of items. Warwick is still alive. From that entire 45-second fight started with Double Trouble trying to focus Warwick, and not only did he survive, he's back in the lane with some health pots and some health relics and pushing. I mean, he's still there. He's still a threat. The ultimates are now up for this team. We've managed to capture Victor with Impale. Victor's going to go down. He's not before he deals huge damage, though. The ultimate from the Hemoplague from Vladimir might be enough to pick up Warwick. Along with Skarner, it is. Vladimir doesn't have his Sanguine Pool, though, and they still do not have control of the quarry. Kills do not matter. Points do. So, Mundo's going to go down as his Masochism ability or ultimate is off cooldown. He doesn't have the regen. Kog'Maw's going to be able to run around with his Ithikian Surprise and deal even more damage. And PWD are just in total control. They did this in the last game, and it looks as though they're going to be doing it again. This might be another early game shutout. The guys that are sitting in IRC, I am the commentator in League of Legends. You're known as a shoutcaster. I am trying to just cover. This is the grand final of the game. Stun goes down onto Wukong. That is going to be a dead Wukong. I don't know if PWDT are going to be able to defend this push right now. There are some fallback pings coming. Mundo gets caught in the stun, takes a bit of poke. They manage to take back control of the quarry. So points are now, the rot has been stopped. All right, that's 368 to 478. That's 110 points the difference. It is possible to pull it back. It is possible to even out the scores and to try take advantage, and put some victory, put the chances of victory back within reach. And the longer the game goes, the better the chances for Double Trouble, because Mundo and Vlad are just going to get really strong. Skarner's going to gain some fantastic levels as well. And strangely, Kog'Maw's decided to go for a Malady instead of going for attack damage or similar. So it's a little bit strange, but I can sort of see it. It shreds magic resist. It deals a little bit of damage. And it's going to make Warwick and Victor just deal all that extra damage. Warwick is now running into this bottom lane. He's taking on the two champions of Skarner and Dr. Mundo and not really worrying about it. Annie comes in with the stun, but takes so much damage in return. If she gets caught by a Piltover Peacemaker, or just there we go, one Peacemaker plus a death ray from Victor completely takes her out. The damage is too great, and Sion gets blown up as well. Vladimir, if he has his Hemo Plague up, may be able to pick up 1 or 2 kills, but it's just not enough. And that's a team ace without losing a single kill. Look at the hit points on all of the PWT players, and their health points are just too low. Every single one of those champions has been hit and damaged and focused. And yes, I mean, don't get me wrong, I understand Double Trouble have a large amount of AoE damage, but they really need to lock onto one champion. They really need to focus on one guy and blow him up. So the guys that are busy sitting in IRC and asking, I'm going to be streaming a lot more, going to be coming up to 5 or 6 nights a week, but while I'm talking, Tibbers is dropped, Hemo Plague is dropped, that's going to be a huge number of kills, and that's a very strong team fight now for Double Trouble. They managed to only lose 1 in the process. I take that back, that is 2 kills for a team ace, but they do manage to get control of their point. And I'm going to be streaming a couple of nights a week. If you don't already have an own3d.tv account, register for the account and click the follow button on the top left of the screen. You'll get an email as soon as I go live every time. Alternatively, you guys can join me on Facebook. It's facebook.com/quickshot. I'll type it on IRC for you guys so you can keep tabs. I always keep updates, and once I start getting a little bit more of a rigorous schedule booked and confirmed, I'll be booking ahead of time as opposed to just a couple of hours. So any support would be really appreciated and really liked. Dr. Mundo managed to get caught there on a Caitlyn trap. Those cupcakes are too strong. It's like a giant mouse trap for champions. You step on it, you get stuck, and generally you get deaded. But look at this poke. Ultimate, the infinite duress from Warwick completely blows up Vladimir. He can't cast his ultimate or his Sanguine Pool. The focus is then turned to Skarner. Wukong credited with both kills so far. Kog'Maw picking up the 3rd onto Mundo. Kog'Maw picking up the 4th onto Annie. So that's 2 double kills. And Victor closes out the fight with an ace. And once again, PWDT are in control of this game. They are in control of the quarry, and they're going to be shutting this out. 270 score to 460. They've got a huge kill advantage. Just have a look at the gold score at the minute. 5,000, 5,500, 5,300, 4,800, 5,000. Gold's not too bad. Call it 600 on average higher per champion. So it's not necessarily the end of the world, but it's a decent amount. Wukong ultimate combined with Victor just means that Annie is completely melted. Mundo tries to pull the enemies away from his team and try buy them some time, but it's not enough. Wukong moves up with that Nimbus strike in conjunction with a crushing blow, is able to completely destroy the enemy team. And even if anybody had survived, that Kog'Maw passive, it turns him into a giant suicide bomber. He starts running around, throwing out pink pus from all body orifices, and then blows up in a huge explosion, dealing true damage. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty difficult to deal with. And even if you just win a team fight closely by killing that Kog'Maw, he's just going to tear you apart. I also didn't make mention that Kog'Maw was in this team, so they've actually got 2 attack damage carries. Mundo's committing to this fight. He's pushing onto Wukong, but he's fighting a clone. Wukong managing to get away. Wukong dying to Annie, while Dr. Mundo and Sion push down Caitlyn. In return, Warwick does pick up the kill onto Annie with his ability to see champions. Warwick's... What's the name of it now? Hunter's Call. It gives him vision on all low health champions, and it gives him a really big speed boost. So it keeps him chasing. And here's what I'm talking about. Kog'Maw's going to be chasing. Goodbye, Skarner. Kaboom! Kog'Maw from beyond the grave takes out Skarner. Even with winning the fight, he just completely dominates you guys. 180 score to 446. Kudos have to be made to PWDT, the Polish wet dream team. They want to go home. They want to stay in those sheets. They are giving themselves enough reason to right now, that's for sure. Double Trouble are in lots of trouble, and I think the names of the teams are giving me a bit too many lame puns. So 180 to 446. I think it's going to take another 2 or 3 of those really strong pushes from PWDT to win this at the minute. Hemoplague gets thrown. He hits 4 champions, followed by a Sanguine Pool that might be enough to actually turn this in their favor. Vladimir is the focus, and he does go down, but they do get 2 for 2 at the moment. Let's see how this goes. Caitlyn is finished out. Cogmore is still dealing damage from the background. Cogmore with his Bioarcane Barrage just outrages everybody on this game, even Caitlyn. Sion now with his shield and with his life steal rather from cannibalism. 50% attack speed and 75% health steal. I'm not sure if you guys were looking at Sion's health bar there, but he literally healed through the entire damage of Cogmore and Victor, compliments of that ultimate ability. Ace in the hole, not caught by Herder. Herder was unable to protect Sion, who was Durher. So that was quite an interesting few names there. Skarner tried to catch that bullet. Caitlyn's ultimate is interceptable, so you can take it. Take one for the team. Show some bro love. The bromance. Keep it going. And unfortunately, Durher went down because Herder couldn't do it. I think that was a derp moment. I mean, come on, that's a pretty derp moment, right? 170 to 427. Team fights are slowly being pulled back in favor of Double Trouble. But I think it's too little too late. Skarner is trying to get up for the Impale. He's trying to catch somebody, but he's just taken too much damage, and that's going to be a dead Skarner. The focus is on Wukong. Wukong has taken a huge amount of damage, and Mundo's trying to sit on him. But with Mundo leaving the fray, he can't protect his teammates, and now he's taken too much damage. Vladimir tosses out the Hemoplague. Hemoplague's going to pick up Wukong. That's going to be 1 kill, so that's two for 2 so far. But the Double Trouble team members are just too low on health. That's a 3rd kill now. Another one down. Sion was down as well early. I missed that. And he's going to be shut down by Warwick. And Victor is going to start the cap. You see these gold rings floating around the quarry. This means that they have now captured a map objective. Or almost. Scared away. They didn't capture it just yet. Stun onto Warwick with a burst shield. Sion is going for an attack damage, attack speed build, which makes perfect sense because it combines with his ultimate. And they're pushing for this fight. Vladimir is moving up. And even with low health and being forced back, Warwick and Victor just completely controlled that fight and killed Sion. 140 to 419. This is really difficult to pull back from. And I don't think it can be done, but we're going to have to see what happens. Vladimir's moved in with his Sanguine Pool. That's very brave because now he doesn't have an escape to get away. He does get blown up with a crushing blow from Victor, from Wukong. Wukong is now jumping onto everybody else. He is the Monkey King swinging that stick. Nimbus Strike goes up. Sion throws a stun onto Wukong to save Mundo, and it was enough to save them, but now they're trying to defend the point, and Sion gets melted. That was 2 attacks from every champion, and he just gets completely dominated. Mundo and Sion just not able to protect their point, and this looks like it's just been a stomping. Double Trouble have yet to lose a game, and unfortunately, as it's the grand final, if they lose now, it means that they're out. That's them. They play second. It's a little bit frustrating because it is meant to be double elimination, and PDWT have in fact had already 1 loss. So I think what I would like to do is I might ask the players afterwards if they'd like to replay it, but we'll have to see. Finally, Victor goes down. Keeping an eye now, Wukong and Annie. Wukong is being focused by Annie and Mundo. Looking back up at the top, Cogmore and Caitlyn managing to pick up 2 kills of their own onto Skarner, Sion, and Vlad. That was in fact 3 kills. And make that another one now as well, because that means Mundo's going to be the next one to go down. He's running away. He's going to try and push up to pick up this point. The rules in this particular game mode say you're not allowed to recall. You're not allowed to go back to your spawning point and regenerate health. So having a look here, Warwick was just busy doing his dance. As he is a werewolf, it is the Thriller dance, doing the Michael Jackson moves, which is pretty cool. Mundo going down there to Cogmore and Caitlyn. You managed to deal a large amount of damage to Caitlyn, so if they do jump onto him, that'll be a dead Caitlyn. But infinite duress, the 2.5 seconds suppression from Warwick is more than enough to kill a full health Sion. Wukong has now dived onto Annie, and he's going to be focusing that. Cogmore finishes off the Vlad. Wukong will be able to pick up, or work with his team to pick up yet another ace. And when you just look at the deaths, 12 deaths, 11, 12, 12, 14, in comparison to the 6-4-6-7-4. It's just unbelievable control here from the Polish side. They have managed to pick up a few kills here and there. They have managed to pick up all the bonus gold because of the many, many assists. But the teamwork and the focus from PWDT is just too strong. And I think this is the final tick. Keep an eye on that score at the top there, guys. That's 20-408. It's another kill for PWDT. The Polish Wet Dream team are going to be able to go home and have some wet dreams. They'll be able to keep those bragging rights high, that they are the ultimate, all random, all bottom, Crystal Scar Dominion ESL champions. I just like saying that title because it's pretty awesome. And it looks as though now Warwick managed to pull himself back from the grave, jumps in with that infinite duress, steals that health points back, and congratulations to PWDT. Really, really well played, guys. That was awesome. I've noticed the stream has also jumped up to 41 viewers. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for tuning in. You have just missed the grand final of the all random, all bottom Dominion Cup. I'm going to keep an eye on this, see if the scoreboard will be coming up. And I'm just going to ask on IRC, no second game. I'll troll. I'll see. Maybe I can convince them to play a second game if they're willing. But you know what? The rules don't state it. So sadly, yeah, it looks like that is the grand final. Guys, thank you so much for joining. There are 41 viewers on stream. Let's pull the camera up. I am Quickshot. Some of you may know me as a physician from my previous work. I'm going to be getting more and more involved in League of Legends shoutcasting and commentary. It looks as though, we'll see. Ask the Polish guys. If they agree, then let's go for it. We may be able to get another game. We may be able to make this a 100% fair and official